welcome to life on plot 30. We've got Polytunnel weekend this weekend. We're going to see what we can get done on that. During the week I've been prepping it up, got the ground anchors in, which I'll go through with you in a minute. Got the weed block down, ready to go. So we're going to see what we can get started with today. It's Saturday morning, nice and early as usual. So we're going to see how much of it we can get done. See how it sets up. It's a bit better there. See how it sets up. I've never built one of the kit forms of Polytunnel, so it's going to be a bit of a learning process as I go. But I'll turn you around, show you what I've done, and we can go from there. As you can see here, I've got all the weed block down, which goes past the edges of the Polytunnel. The ground anchors are in all the way up that side and all the way up this side as well. So they're all set. Got this put in now so it's actually over the top, so it's not joined at the edges of the tunnel. Was planning on putting beds into this area, but after trying to dig the ground just to put the ground anchors in, it's all basically brick and rubble underneath here, glass, slate, everything. So it's going to be raised beds in here, so I'm having to replan it. So my plan is to get the tunnel up, see what it's like on the inside, and then take a bit of time to think about how I'm going to have it laid out. Last night I also collected more flags. As these ones come off a local new build. There's about 100 of them ones, which are going to go up this top end, around the tunnel, around the fruit cage, the coop, that sort of thing. So I've got them there ready to go now. So, but main concentration now is going to be the tunnel, so I'm going to get that started, and I'll keep coming back into you as each stage goes on. That's the first section done. All the hoops are in now. Easier than I thought with one person. Good job I'm tall. One thing I did learn doing it is you definitely need to have it on flat ground. I had to try and do it on that bit of path there and fix each section at a time, keep moving it around. So when I put the first one up, after laying it on this ground, it was like a dog's back leg. So that's the first bit. That's the first thing I learned from it. Going to start putting the ridge in now, running that through, start getting some extra supports in that I've got. So that's the next step, and I'll come back to you once we see how that's going. But one thing I can say about it is, with me at 6'2", I can stand this close to the edge. It's absolutely great for height. So looking forward to being able to start growing in this. But that's the view from the back there. Stood underneath the back pole. That's a view down the sides of the tunnel, so going to give us a good amount of indoor space on here. But I'll get started with the ridge bars now, and I'll come back to you. Our next update, got all the angled braces on to tighten up the structure. Got the 2 door bars on, front and back, so making it nice and rigid now. Next job is going to be to run the rest of the crop bars through, which are pretty much the same as the door bars on all the other hoops. get the storm stairs on, which go over these joins, and then that's the metal work just about done on the polytunnel. It'll be a case of then moving on to the framework, the timber work, the timber base rails, the door frames, getting everything like that set in. So it's been a good couple of hours, and hopefully this afternoon, well, the rest of the morning and this afternoon goes just as good, and we can get well pushed on with it today. It's going a bit quicker than I was expecting, so quite happy with it. I'll come back into you soon once we get a bit more done. Keep you updated on how things are going. Well, that's it, Saturday night, well, Saturday tea time, 7 o'clock-ish. Got all the framework in, stone braces are in, all the way down, extra support bars, crop bars, everything's in there now. Got the timber base rails done up to there, just where that wee block is, all the way around, back door frames in, and all the way down this side. So we've got all that timber work in now. The 2 doors are made. Got to make the other frame, put the lats on the outside, hotspot tape, and then it is ready to put the cover on. But it is huge. Really surprised actually. I measured it out on the floor and it looked big anyway, but once it's went up, it's actually surprises how big it is. But what I'll do once it's all up and everything, I'll give a proper little rundown of it. But absolutely over the moon with it at the minute. So that's it for today. I'll be back on in the morning and we can continue on with this build. Hello, it's Sunday morning now. Got most of the timber work in. Done this door frame this morning. Got this corner tied up now. Base rails are in right the way up, and I've got this little corner to finish off. Put all the lats on, hotspot tape, and tape up all the little ends, the 3 ends on each side where they come through. Get rolls of duct tape to wrap them up so that it doesn't protrude through. But that's going to be a sliding door at this end. So I've got this little corner to do and see what we can get done. Hoping that the clouds clear up a little bit. They're starting to get a bit of heat so that I can try and stretch the tunnel as best as possible. I've set the base rails down. They're all going to need lifted up so that I can get the cover on and press them down, tighten them up to get a nice drum tight finish on it. So that's everything there, and that's going to be an opening door at that end. So I'm going to get this corner finished, get all the lats around, tapes on, and see what we can do about the cover. Right, well, that's all the hotspot tapes on, all the lats around the bottom edges to form the rebate for the timber base rails. They're all on. Hotspot tape on the external of all the pipes. Taped on 2 cents. I'll just turn around on the ends of all the protruding pipes there. Rebates formed around the door frames. So we're all ready for the cover now, and thankfully the sun is starting to come out a little bit, so might just warm it up and give it that bit extra stretch. So we're going to try and get the cover laid over the top and see how we'll go from there. There we go, that's the completed polytunnel. Take us inside now. Got a sliding door on the front. and this is the inside growing space in here. So we've got 3.6 by 7.6 and good head height on it as well. So this is the first tunnels polytunnel, and after building it I can't complain about it one bit. The one little issue, I didn't get hinges for this back door, so I had a couple of 3-inch hinges in the van which I've just put on for now. Got the door bolt at the bottom so it can be set to whatever I want it. I've got a couple of bars to go on the ground once I know what's happening, so we've got that down there. Opening door at the back, ventilation and ventilation on the top of the sliding door. It's already warm in here. The cover itself went on reasonable. The pleats on the ends, as you can see, not two of them are the same. That's the hard bit out of all of it. The cover itself isn't bad across the bottoms. Getting the lats on the outside wasn't too bad. I've still got a little bit of room underneath, so on a nice hot sunny day I'm going to try and nip it up a little bit more, but if you can hear, nice and tight, which is the way you want it. So still don't know what I'm doing in here yet. So if there's anybody with any ideas, feel free to leave a comment, because I'm not sure the layout. The only thing I do know is I'm going to have a potting bench in this corner next to the door and a grapevine starting up in that bottom corner. Other than that, everything's open, so any suggestions welcome. But I'll show you around now. Go around this side. This is the side where the cold frames are going to be. So right away up this fence I'm going to have cold frames built up here. Across the back, obviously you've seen the compost bins. A little bit tighter than I'd hoped, but still enough room for a barrow. So I can be able to fill my bins in here. So again, it's going to make a load of difference to his growing now. So back round the front, this side's just the same as what it was, a bottom side. But that's going to be like my next step, this little area here. So I've got all this excess plastic here, which I'm going to use for the tops of the cold frames. So other than that, it's great, really. It makes a hell of a difference to the plot. So there's one more thing, and that is, this tunnel I've already mentioned, came from First Tunnels, and it is something that I personally would struggle to afford. They're not cheap, but the quality is great. So I've got my gran to thank for it, who decided that she would buy most of it for us. So I couldn't have done this without her, so a big thank you to her, who I know watches the videos. She loves her gardening. Not able to do it as much anymore, but still loves her gardening. It was her and my granda, who I've mentioned before. Those were the ones that got me the gardening bug. And if she could, she would probably be up here digging for us anyway. She would have been helping us pull this cover on. But unfortunately she can't now. So again, a big thank you to her. And we're going to make the most of it. She's already been up to see it. The day she was the first one to see it, which was important to me. So she's already been up, which is why I'm now doing this video, so everybody else can have a look after her. So yeah, that's basically it for this weekend. It's took us, after the ground anchors were in, which I done through the week, it's took us about 10 hours yesterday, and we're coming up to 4 o'clock now, so probably about 8 hours today, 9 hours today. That's on my own, so if there's two people it'd probably be a bit quicker, but I like working on my own most of the time, as the lads at work know. So that's basically it, and I will see you in the next video. But if you want to keep seeing the content that I'm putting out, then like, subscribe, feel free to comment on the layout on the inside, any suggestions welcome, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.